Welcome to this video review, and as you're able to see in front of yourselves, I have Cantilever ERA-TAC tactical scope mounts here, and I'm going to go through all the features and everything associated with these mounts. And at the end, like you know, I always do the sweet and sour part where I share my opinion about the pluses and minuses, about the dislikes and likes of these mounts. But let's start first with a couple of words of introduction of the company. So ERA-TAC is a brand owned by Ricknagel, and Ricknagel is one of the biggest producers of scope mounts in Europe. I would say their main range of products is more in the hunting segment. They produce really a lot of hunting mounts, but ever since 2010, when they came out with an ERA-TAC brand, they're also very, very strong in tactical and professional industry for everything associated with sport optics. So cantilever mounts, like you see them here, are meant for use on AR type of rifles, where the receiver of the rifle is really close to the face of the shooter, so you need to move the scope forward to get the appropriate eye relief. And this is the reason why, if you see where the scope mount clamps on the Picatinny rail, and then where the rings are, which hold the scope, they're moved forward. In this video, I'm talking about fixed mounts of this type. I'm not talking about quick release mounts. We have a separate video about quick release mounts. And let's start with basics. They are suitable for AR rifles. I wouldn't say that they work also on other rifles, but honestly speaking, it makes no sense to buy a cantilever mount on and use it on a, let's say, bolt action rifle. So mostly for the AR rifles. They come in 30 millimeters and 34 millimeters scope tubes, because majority of wide angle scopes are either 30 millimeter or 34 millimeter. They're made out of high quality aluminum alloy. ERA-TAC is not stating which alloy exactly, but definitely aircraft grade aluminum. You can be sure that the material used is really of high quality and it will never fail. We never had a single warranty issue with this type of mounts in the last 10 years that we are selling them, and we sold hundreds of them. They come, I think, with 10 years warranty, but honestly speaking, they don't fail, so the warranty you will not need it. The rings are very bulky. The whole mounts are, I would say, among the most bulkier you're able to see in this category of cantilever mounts, but they're also probably the most reliable. The mounts have a 50-50 split, horizontal, and they have 4 screws on top and the universal ERA-TAC interface on top, so you're able to put all the accessory on it. What is also very important with these mounts is that they come in so many different options. First of all, the height. They offer 2 different heights for 30 millimeters and also 2 different heights for 34 millimeters, and 2 different offsets. So this is a 3-inch offset, 75 millimeters approximately, and this is a 2-inch offset. So it's a much shorter mount. And this is something what rarely manufacturers are doing. Majority of manufacturers just have 2-inch offsets, and that's it. What is also very interesting with the ERA-TAC mounts of this type is that you're able to get 20 MOA mounts. So that means that they offer really a lot of options. Like with all ERA-TAC tactical mounts, the amount of options is almost unique in this industry, because honestly speaking, majority of other manufacturers just do one scope mount of this type and that's it. ERA-TAC is producing like 6 mounts in 34 millimeters and I think even more. Also 6 mounts in 30 millimeters. So really a lot of options. If I speak about the torque values for the screws, the torque on the upper screws on the rings that should be applied when you're mounting a scope should be 2.2 or 2.3 Newton meters. More than that will be, I would say, too much, because it will damage the scope. ERA-TAC also advised that you are able, if you wish, to use a small piece of nylon. It's best taken from medical hand gloves, and you can put it just on the lower part of the ring so that the scope has a better contact with the surface. Even though, in my opinion and in my experience, even if you don't put anything inside, if you use the proper torque value, the scope will never move. The reason for it is that these rings have 25 millimeters wide, and that's quite a lot. So there is a lot of contact surface. For the base screws, you can see that there is a value engraved on top of them. It's 10 to 12 Newton meters. Quite a lot of torque. Majority of other mounts advise less than that, but like I said, everything on ERA-TAC is made really, really robust. They're far more bulkier than other similar mounts, but the reason for it is that ERA-TAC is used by many militaries in Europe and also many special police forces and so on, so they are bulletproof in reliability. They really never fail, and this is the reason why they're so bulky, because there is so much of material used. What is also important with 20 MOA version of these mounts, you have to make sure that the rings are paired. So you can see here two numbers, 1 and 1, and on the other side you see 2 and 2. With each mount you're also getting this instruction manual that all the rings, the ring halves, have to be paired, otherwise you can damage the scope. Okay, I think I covered most of the things, and I came to the part where I do my summary or my conclusion, where I go through the dislikes and likes, and let's start with the dislikes. First dislike that I would say is that for a lot of civil users they will be too bulky, too big, because a normal sport shooter will never go into situations where this robustness and reliability is really needed. But on the other side, they say that better safe than sorry, and this is definitely a good case of that, because I don't see a way how this mount could fail. I also think that maybe a small disadvantage is their price. They are not affordable, because compared to other mounts in this category, especially those made in China, from, I would say, most popular American brands which produce these mounts in China, they're really affordable. And if you're having, let's say, 400, 500 euro scope on a 1,000, 1,500 euro worth of rifle, then this is an overkill. But on the other side, if your life depends on a scope mount, then this is the right choice. These are basically the only dislikes. But there is a lot of things to like. They're really reliable. They're really well made from great materials. And you have so many different options. You have different heights, even though the lowest height is 22 millimeters on the 30 millimeter mounts and 20 millimeter on 34 millimeter mounts. This is the distance from the top of the Picatinny and to the bottom of the scope. It's really hard to measure it. I don't think it's even possible. No, I think I'm not able to measure it here, but the distance from this surface inside of the ring, so the bottom surface of the scope, and this surface, so the top surface of the Picatinny rail. So majority of mounts of this type just come in one height. ERA-TAC gives you the possibility to choose two heights and even two offsets, and MOA inclination or no MOA inclination. So really a lot of choices, and this is, I would say, the biggest plus of ERA-TAC mounts of this type. I am looking now, one additional dislike, really small one. The nuts on the base screws are quite big. But again, this is a robust, very robust and reliable mount, so it's just an aesthetic thing. It's nothing else. So I hope I covered all the positives and negatives. If I forgot something, please use the comments below. And if you like our reviews, please subscribe, because it really means a lot to us. So thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.